Good afternoon, kings and queens, and welcome to Business Strategies and Tips with Lady L. I am your host, Lady L of Success Beyond Strategies, LLC, building strategies that become successful actions, helping business owners and entrepreneurs identify their vision, mission, and purpose, turning them into legal, successful, profitable business entity. This show is brought to you by the Magnet Exchange Group. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to prop it up just a little bit more because I have a powerful show for us today. But the Magnet Exchange Group is a book club, a social club of like-minded individuals with a powerful magnetic attraction that develops healthy relationships, positive personal development, sharing wisdom and experiences in generational wealth development and wealth preservation. I'm here to tell you this show is going to be so powerful because if you knew what was going on behind the scenes and all of the obstacles and all of the hindrances and all of the reschedule, because hey, we working, but we want to share and just give you some golden information from one of our kings of the Magnet Exchange Group. Let me share with you who this powerful, powerful person is. My special guest for today is Miss Myron Motown Lemon, CEO of the Motown Exchange Group Enterprise, LLC, and a king in the community of the Magnet Exchange Group. Let me share with you about this awesome, awesome gentleman. Just want to give you a little background on him. Myron Motown Lemon is a family man, an adventurer, a servant leader. When I tell you a servant leader, I'm talking about a servant leader who goes above and beyond for the Magnet Exchange Group community. He is a financial strategist. And when I tell you a financial strategist, he brings the sauce for our ribs on all of our morning calls to go along with the rest of the King Court. And I'm presenting to you Mr. Myron Motown Lemon, a king in the court of the Magnet Exchange Group. Let's bring him in the room. Mr. Motown, are you with me?
Hey, how you doing? How's everything going?
Wonderful. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Boy, am I excited to have you on the show today. Oh my gosh. We are going to get into some awesome, awesome information for you from this awesome man of God. He's going to share with us. He is the home of, he's Myron Lemon, Motown Lemon from Detroit, Michigan, the home of music stars and muscle cars. Myron is an automotive product designer of 23 years, not 2, not 3, 23. Married, he loves to travel and loves to eat, and Michigan got some food, okay? So where I want to start at, Mr. Motown, is I'm interested in digging in deep because I believe this is what question I'm about to ask you was a foundation for where you have progressed to this point. You were an automotive product or are an automotive product designer of 23 years. Tell us about 23 years of designing cars. You gotta let us in on that.
Well, I got into drafting manual drawing, technical drawing, or illustration back in junior high school, and my brother had turned me on into it. And I know, growing up, everybody's saying you got to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer. So I got into more of the drawing, illustration side. So in dealing with that, I was able to co-op in my high school years to work for GM, Ford, and I ended up ending up at Lear Corporation. And at Lear Corporation, we designed automotive seating. Anything that's in dealing with a product design is everything when you go to your car, everything you visibly see in your car, that's what we have to design on paper or in CAD, computer-aided design. And it can be 3D models. We do drawings. It can be surface work. It can be adding a bracket somewhere or finishing cover, your radio panels, your steering wheel, console design, your door panel design, things of that nature. There's a science inside of there called ergonomics, and ergonomics is the study of packaging the human body inside of the vehicle that you want and have everything be touch control.
Wow,
so you have 3 zones. You have full hand grab, you have push button, and you have turn dials. So you have to make sure everything is in the 95th percentile of the human body for the average or common person.
And see, all we were looking at was just some pretty cars.
Right.
Saying, "Oh, I like that." Or and you find yourself, the big deal was going car shopping and just jumping in and out of a car, not realizing. Now I can age back a little bit because I know I had uncles that was all into cars, and they did butt wiggles and all this kind of, connecting to the steering wheel and all this kind of stuff. We just jump in the car and say, "Oh, I like this." I have to admit, you have to have a pretty dashboard for me to say, "Yeah, I want that."
Exactly. And that's a science too.
Oh, man.
The logos are appropriately sized, legible, make sure the colors are not too bright or too dim, things of that nature. Yes. There's also a color studio, so they can mix and match colors if you want something like a turquoise or aqua or green, things of that nature. So they mix and match, and they do studies, and they also interview people to see if they like it or not.
Wow.
And then there's also
I'm gonna get in on that. How do you be one of the interviewers?
They do random selections. They usually do family members or friends.
Wow.
And they also do wear and tear testing, like you're saying. You sit in the seat and you wiggle. They have a robot that sits and depresses the seat and wear and tear on a leather or plastic or vinyl or cloth.
Wow.
So they do
it's a shame we're being replaced with robots. Man, y'all could have been calling me. I'd have made a career out of that. What? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I tell you. Oh man, that is exciting. When I think about sitting in a car, I'm saying, okay, like I said, my first view is the dashboard. It's like the dashboard has to speak to me. And it's like, wow, when it speaks to me. Another thing too, now back in the 60s and the 70s, they had designs where the car looks like a face.
Right.
It can have cat eyes. It can have that masculine look. Tell us about how that gets into a design. What's the thought process of where you can actually see a facial personality in the car? And especially, the back wings, they always talked, and that was unique to that brand of car. Tell us about that.
I think they have always intentionally designed cars to favor the body or the culture that they're coming from. And if you look at most older American cars, most of their headlights are circular. So it's, wide-eyed, bright-eyed Americans. If you look at Asian cars, it's more thin headlights. So it favors.
Wow, I never thought of that.
If you look at your air intake, that's more or less your nose or your mouth of the car. So Aston Martin is like a wide, breathing. That's the Aston Martin. If you look at certain Korean models, they're smaller body cars because most Asian bodies are smaller than American bodies would be. So, and then if you look at the side of the car, that's the profile of a person. Some persons got hips, some more are streamlined, some are fast back or wide bodies or narrow bodies. So the car is really based on the human anatomy. So the engine of the car, the brains of the car, or I should say the heart of the car, you're the brains of the car, you're driving the car. And then you design for comfortability. So it could be leather seats, real plush pocket, or it could be an upright to keep you up and mobile, and so you can see out of a vehicle, things of that nature.
Oh man, yes. You said the key word there, because we look at the comfortability, because before the pandemic we spent a lot of time in our cars.
Right.
Whether we were in traffic on our way to work or different things of that nature. But you said something that I really want to touch on just a little bit too. Whereas when you're looking at a person physically using the car, you said the engine is the heart. I call it the heart of the car.
Right.
And the difference between a 4, a 6, and an 8-cylinder is so uniquely different. I mean, and there were times where there's some cars that were built for 6, but they put a 4-cylinder engine in them. I felt jicked a little bit. But what was the concept of the 8-cylinder engine? Because, oh my God, that's just like riding on like you're in your bed and driving. Oh, exactly. It's so smooth.
Well, the 8-cylinder engine, I believe the main purpose was to move the weight of the car. And if you go back before 1970, most cars were made out of steel versus fiberglass and plastic. So the cars were a lot heavier. So you say your average car weight is 3,500 pounds. Back then, those cars were probably 6,000 pounds, because it's all steel sheet metal. And the glass was heavier too. And the engines didn't have lightweight, didn't have aluminum engines. There was all steel engines, cast iron.
Yeah.
So that made a big play. So the bigger the engine, the bigger the cylinders, the more weight it's pushing and torque is building up to move that car. So you don't need that big engine anymore to move just a person or 2 people in a car anymore. And cars are a lot lighter.
I beg to differ. Because people got bigger. They weigh about as much as a car now here in this country. But
so you take 20% off the car weight and you add 20% to your weight.
It's like, exactly. So it's like, okay, no, carry me. Right. I just find it fascinating. Like I said, I grew up with uncles, and their love for cars gave me such an appreciation for the building of a car, to the point where you could probably tell me who actually invented it and got credit for it. But I want to tell you up front, I was the one that really came up with the idea, because I was in my uncle's car. I was about 8 years old. And I said, it would be nice if we had a windshield wiper going on the back window of the car so I could see out of the back of the car, because it was raining and I couldn't see. And they push you off to a side. You 8 years old. They don't think you know what you're talking about as a child. And when I saw the vans like in the early 80s and they started having windshield wipers in the back, I said, see, I'm supposed to be a wealthy child. And then I said it would be nice to have windshield wipers on the headlights of the car. Well, Volvo has windshield wipers on the headlights of the car. So I know who actually produced it, put it on paper, invented it. They walking around not wanting for nothing, but I wanted to go on record. That was my idea. I just needed some adults around me to say, yeah, go for it. Let's make her a millionaire at 8 years old.
And I digress. They come from simple ideas like that. And just simple practical things. Like, I wish we had this. I wish we had a cup holder. I wish the seat would massage. I wish.
When y'all put butt warmers in them seats, that was another idea. I said, boy, these seats. I'm honest with you. The reason why I would never buy a leather car was because of just that.
Right.
The leather would be too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter.
Now we have air conditioned seats. We got air conditioned seats. We got heated seats. We got 30-way power seat. Seats used to just go, back and forth and maybe up and down. Now they go 30 different ways. You got speakers.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. And now I don't even think you even have to have a van now. You could do it in a car. And correct me if I'm wrong, where in the headset, you can have little televisions so that you can keep your kids in the back seat.
Right.
I know it's in vans, but have they put them in cars too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or luxury models. They also have a health component too. They can tell, the seat can feel your blood pressure through your thighs and your butt, of course. Wow. So if you're like fainting or having a heart attack or episode, the seat can vibrate
Interesting.
So they're trying to make it more of a health scan too.
So now does that go into the trying to think of the word, the I call it the astro system, where if the car does that, can it go into that vocal system to get someone to bring you help?
Yeah.
Oh my
I think it's
goodness.
based on a delay system. So like if you're
Yeah.
finding within 3 seconds or 5 seconds or 10 seconds, a help or SOS could go out.
Wow. That is amazing. I brought all of this conversation up to say this. There are entrepreneurs out there in our audience that has these what people would call outrageous ideas. And I'm here to, and we're here to encourage you to say it is not outrageous. If you can think it and you can ink it, you can make it happen. Those are visions, missions, purposes. Those are gifts. Those are talents. Those are callings that you need to answer. You need to ask God how to connect, who to connect to be able to take your witty inventions, your business ideas, your thought processes. You know, everybody that's been following me, I've been telling you, you got to write it down and make it plain. You write the vision down, you write the mission down, you write your strategies, you write your goals, you write your purposes, you write all of these things down for your business, because you never know. You have an invention in your hand that somebody needs.
Right.
You know, because you know how many people have died behind a car because there was no alert system within the car that can probably send help before something happens, or while something is happening, that could be that minute minute that can actually save someone's life. Right. You don't know what you have until you step out and put it into action and put it into work, so that you can bring a solution, so that you can solve a problem in your community, in your country, in your world, wherever you're listening to this. We want to encourage you to go forward. That's what we do in the Magnetic Exchange Group and Life Changing Alliances. We meet every day, and I'm going to share with you those times and that information as we go along in the show, so that you can have a community, because it takes a village, it takes a community to help you with your vision, mission, and purpose, support you, undergird you, and tell you to go forward. With that being said, bring us up to date, Motown, on how you were able to progress from where you're going, where you are, to how you came about the name Motown Exchange Group Enterprise LLC. What was the vision? What was the drive that made you turn it into a legal business entity? Please share.
Well, the main drive was I was kind of following suit with the Magnet Exchange, and I figured I could corner the market for Detroit Motown. And with that, I just switched names out from Magnet to Motown, and of course the music stars and muscle cars. That's what we're known for. And we are international cities because Canada is right across the river from us. So I figured, you can innovate ideas, you can exchange ideas, and keep it moving.
Awesome. So when you are looking at your target audience, what demographic of audience are you looking to reach with what you are servicing at the Motown Exchange Group?
The main serviceability would be business consulting and investing. While during the pandemic was going on, I got involved with the Magnet Exchange, learning about stock options. And it was something I always was curious about, but never had the time to do it. So since we were working from home and things were slowing down a little bit, I said, why not, try it out and learn it. So at first, it was kind of difficult to get into or read charts and things of that nature. But once you start looking at the charts and picking up different patterns and different things, you can pretty much navigate through the system. Of course, you're not going to be right 100% of the time, and you can't navigate through a volatile system. Sometimes it's better just sit back and let the volatile thing go. But when you get back into the market, you'll know when things are going up or down, and when to get in and when to get out. And I've just been working with my demo account, And over a year's time, I did take $100,000 demo account to $1 million.
Awesome. Oh, share with us some of that journey from 100,000 to $1 million. What was some of the ins and outs, the ups and downs, what was your process like in developing that account?
I started off with baby steps. You would buy 5 shares of this, 10 shares of that. And then you would win some, you would lose some, you would notice different patterns. You can get involved with energy stocks or tech stocks, different trends or seasonal trends. People tend to travel in the wintertime more so than the summertime versus exotic locations because of wintertime for most of the industrialized planets.
Snowbirds, I call them.
Right. So then, after you get into a rhythm of certain things, Motown, you can move your decimal place over. So instead of buying 10 shares, you can buy 100 shares. And the mathematical equation still works. If it's going to go up, you can move 100 shares versus just 10 or 1.
So when you migrated to that level of comfort, when you decided to take that next step, that next big leap, what was that experience like when you did take that leap and everything went well before anything negative happened? Share with us that.
It was a little bit of anxiety because you're doing something that you've never done before. So you're pioneering your entrepreneurship and your goals. And it said, if I can turn $100 into $200, maybe I can turn that $200 into $1,000. So why not push the envelope? And then some things depends on how long you stay into a trade. A trade can go for 20 minutes or an hour, or you can have a trade for a couple of days, or you can have a trade go for a couple of weeks. The key thing is, being disciplined enough not to get greedy. You can't keep elevating. At some point, you're going to level off or you're going to drop. So you have to know when to stop trading, which is the hard part. You can't be an emotional trader.
Please, sir. Stress the importance of understanding how, where do we place emotions? Where do we place feelings when it comes to financial platforms?
I would say you're trying to win, but you're really not. That shouldn't be the goal to win. The goal should be to make your portion of money and then leave. You're enjoying the party. You don't go to the club to win. You go to the club to enjoy yourself. So the same thing with food.
There you go.
You don't eat till you're stuffed because then you're hurting and you're doing your body a disservice. So eat enough to satisfy your appetite and leave. You don't have to be emotionally tied to, I got to keep making more money. Because a personal example I did with my Ford stock, I had Ford stock when it was like $6 or $7. And this past Christmas holidays, it was going up to like $25. And I'm thinking it's going to keep going to 25, 30, 40. I got greedy. It dropped back down to $10.
Let me tell y'all about trading. They could actually anticipate. They study.
Right.
Your they study your algorithms to say, okay, and they rate you, they rank you. Okay, he's a low risk person. Oh, okay, he's inching up a little bit. He's a medium risk person.
Right.
Okay, he's inching up a little bit more. Oh, he's stepping out a little bit. Okay, all right, let's see how far he gonna go. And then you got to make that one move,
right,
that you don't normally make. And it's we got him. And they will pull the rug right from underneath you.
It's a humbling experience.
It is. What? Oh my gosh.
Reality.
And then we're also had that experience because when I started with the Magnet Exchange Group, we were connected through the Millionaire Mafia from the standpoint of the Millionaire Mob. And we started with Forex. Right. In learning how to trade. And oh my gosh, did I tell you we went through all of the emotional roller coasters of what you're not supposed to do in trading.
Right.
And one of the biggest things we caught ourselves in was revenge trading. Did you get into any revenge trading with your stocks?
Oh yeah. I got into one revenge trade. I had made maybe about 30% during that day. And I'm thinking I can carry it over to the next day. and I didn't, pay attention to it like I should have, and it dropped down 50%. So now I'm trying to catch that money that I had lost, and you can't do that.
No, you cannot.
The more frustrated you get, the more money you tend to mess up or lose down the line.
Exactly. Because kings and queens, the bottom line is keep your feelings under your feet, stomp on them, throw them out the window before you get on these platforms. Your mind has to be clear. Your vision have to be clear, and you have to make sure that you have strategized and you have studied your charts and you have done your markups and whatever, style that you use, because there's multiple ways to really set up your platform that fits your personality, that fits your style or way of working the markets. And once you have that pretty much settled, you have to stay like this.
Right.
It's a transaction, and you don't, I hope, I can't use that as an example, because some of us pay our bills with our feelings.
Right.
And that's why you're still paying bills.
Right.
And that's why you're staying broke, because you pay your bills with your feelings. Right. Feelings and finance are enemies to each other. They're not bosom buddies. They're not cousins. They're not lifelong pals. They are enemies to each other. So if the market could be right, but if your head isn't right, we have a term we call syad. And for those in my community, y'all know what that means. Down somewhere, and you just gonna have to, because I'd rather you say bye-bye to the good moves than to say bye-bye to your money, because that's exactly what's going to happen. It's been proven over and over and over again. It's like gravity. It's going to do what it do unless you have a counteractive to that gravity. You are going to drop. You are going to crash and burn. So with that being said, do not, for those that are in the financial markets that are doing what they do, please don't do it with your emotions, because it is not profitable.
Right. We'll say sit your assets down.
Yes. We'll be nice. Sit your assets down, put your assets to the side, and say, okay, we're going to work with something like that a little bit later.
And once you meet your goal, you did good. Don't get spoiled. You meet your goal.
Don't get greedy. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Now, if you're in any level of the markets, you are taught to set a daily goal. Everybody that's been following my show, that's what we talked about from day one. You have to have a goal for your business, for your entities, for your communities, for your foundations, for your organizations, even for your ministries. You cannot go into anything that you're doing without a goal, without a plan. So every day have a goal of what you want to reach, and have a limit of how many times you're going to take to meet that goal. So if your sweet spot is 3 times, after you reached your goal at 3 times, sit your assets down, because what's going to happen is, there's going to be this sweet trade that's going to pop up. It's like, oh my God, I know I can get in there. I know it. I see it. I've charted it. I know what it looked like. It's a setup.
Right. Because people have to remember,
it's a setup.
As you're making profits, somebody else is betting against the profits and are going to profit take. So it's going to rise as high as it can, and then someone's going to buy at the peak for the option for the put, and they're going to wait for it to drop back down. So you have to be aware of that.
Yes, you really just know it's a trap, it's a setup, and everything. You set your goal, you did your 3 times, you made your goal, and they said, "Oh, he didn't leave the platform yet. Okay, let me put one out there," and bam. Bye-bye.
Exactly.
Everything you just did, you met your goal for the day, you got your level for the day.
Also, too, it's a good thing to invest in things that you know about. Don't try to do things that you're not unaware of. I mean, if you don't know about solar panels or energy, don't worry about that. But if your thing is travel, then invest in Carnival or Delta stock. If your thing is retail, you know about shopping, Walmart, Sam's Club, Target, those type of things. Invest in things that the products and services that you buy.
The niches that you like, that's what you service. You know, we've got what I call the Starbucks club, because there's a few of us that love our Starbucks. And whatever you love or whatever you like, whatever you want to get into, whatever you buy on a frequent basis, buy the stock first.
Right.
So you can pay yourself.
Don't buy Nike gym shoes or McDonald's or go Starbucks coffee and you don't own one stock. And you've been doing this for the last 10, 20, 30 years.
Do you know how wealthy you would be if you bought stock in what you buy? And we have no excuse now. We got a little app on your phone that you use every day. You be transferring money to your cousins, to your kids, to your grandkids. And then look at a couple of other little emblems that's on the bottom right-hand side. Check them out. Check them out. Y'all know what I'm talking about too. Check them out.
Like I say too, I put a little blurb in there. If you had invested, $100 in a stock 5 years ago, and I put some stocks in there and some technology stocks too. And in 2017, if you had invested $100 in Bitcoin, you would have $465. If you had invested $100 in Amazon 5 years ago, you would have $284. If you had invested in Tesla 5 years ago, you would have almost $1,300. So that's just $100 one-time investment. Most of us blow $100 a month just on fast food.
Come on.
A movie ticket.
Please. Ladies, we spend more than that on our hair, our feet, and our nails.
So if you adjust your budget, you can add to your stock portfolio or crypto portfolio or Forex portfolio. No one's saying don't have any fun or live. But if you could take $20 a week, which is roughly $80 or $85 for the entire month, if you got 4.5 weeks, you can add that to your portfolio every month for a year. Think how much further you would be ahead in investing.
Absolutely.
You don't have to have $1 million. It just takes a little bit. A little bit goes a long way.
Yes, it does. Yeah, I can vouch for that. There's a couple of little things I looked at. I said, oh, okay. I was able to take that little bit, and I mean, it's like an acorn, they have those accounts and different things like that, or if you have one of those accounts where it rounds up, those pennies count over a certain period of time. It adds up. And it's better than doing nothing.
That's one of my testimonies too on how I got started in the crypto world. I took some change that I had been saving for like a year and a half. So I had like change around the house, and when you get change, you just put it in the piggy bank. So I had like $400 worth of change, nickels, quarters, dimes. Mm-hmm. I took that and I bought into Bitcoin maybe about 2 years ago. It was around $10,000 when I did it, and by the time Christmas rolled around, it got up to about $35,000. So I took that and parlayed that into other cryptocurrencies and other stock options, and tried to build my portfolio up that way.
Exactly.
It doesn't take much. You just have to redirect your funds.
Redirect your spending. It's not to say that you don't spend, just redirect a little bit of it.
Right.
And you would be surprised exactly what can grow for you. Oh my goodness. And we talked about, there was something else that came to my mind. I wanted us to share with the audience as far as setting goals for your trading. I think you touched on it a little bit. A system. We talk about developing systems. We have systems in our businesses. We have systems in our organizations. We have systems in our ministries. We have systems in different industries. And we have systems because systems work. When you follow a pattern, a proven pattern, let me correct that, a proven pattern. And perfect example, look at the concept of franchising, especially in the food industry. They found a niche, they repeated it, and they discovered that if they make it consistent, and for those that have been watching my show, we talked about the power and consistency. and they were able to develop franchises that are standing the test of time as a result of it. So when you look at putting together a system, he was able to take a little bit and allow it to continue to grow, continue to grow, continue to grow, where he can actually pull from it to add to his portfolio, which means you're not pulling out of your pocket anymore. We call it house money. You've earned what you've deposited, and say, okay, for example, you said $100. Well, you've doubled that $100. Now it's $200, or tripled it. It's $300. So now you have that $100 you originally invested. You've cleared it. You can actually take out that initial investment and begin to plant seeds. Like it's like a field where you decided, you have a plan, you decided what fruits or vegetables that you're going to grow, and you can only start out with one crop. Say you can only start out with cabbage. So you were able to grow that cabbage, sell that cabbage, and now you're able to take that money to buy different seeds for maybe carrots or another vegetable or another or plant a fruit tree. But it was that initial investment that you were able to see the multiplication of it. And then now you're able to take it and grow some other things. It's the same concept. It's seed time and harvest time. It's understanding that when you can take a little, put it in the right soil, because the seed is good. When you put it in the right soils, when you put it in the right industries, when you put it in the right investment, when you put it in the right portions of your business, when you put it in the right portions of your organization and in your ministry, then you begin to see it all bloom and grow. And even though you have the vision on paper, to see it reveal right in front of your eyes over time, you got to give some things time. Everybody wants everything right now. Usually anything that's built quick without a strong foundation, it's going to crumble. So you've got to be patient with your financial journeys. You've got to be patient with your business and do what you need to do. Do what you know to do to make sure that you are properly positioning everything so that it connects well, it's growing well, everything is growing, helping one another grow in the industry, in your business. You have the right employees in place that sees your vision, that you've made it plain and clear to them, they're running with you, and you're able to get some things accomplished. So we're here today to encourage you to whatever you're developing, whatever business that you're growing, whatever organization you're putting together, be patient with it. Be patient with the time and enjoy the journey, enjoy the process of what it takes to make this happen. My dear Mr. Motown, give us one or two business strategies and tips that you would like to leave with our audience today, something that really stick with them, that they can hold on to it, that regardless of the challenges and situations that they face, this one or two things they'll be able to hold on and it'll carry them through. Take it away.
I would say write down your plan and let it make sense to you, and let it make sense to what field you're into. To me, I guess as a Libra, everything is about balance and harmony.
Yes.
So it's not just diversification, it's also timing of something. If you're growing one crop, then this season grow something else in another season. So then you have to turn the soil over and you got to grow something else different to keep the soil going, things of that nature.
There you go.
Don't underestimate slow growing crops, because even though we always, I guess, analogize with fruit and vegetables, don't negate the trees. You need trees because you got to have wood. And you got to have wood because you got to have structures. It takes a tree longer to grow, but once you have all that wood, you got a foundation for your barn, your house, your building, your construction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, that was awesome. Oh my goodness. I tell you, I'm flashing up where we can find you. We want to blow up and follow his Instagram page, Myron Lemon. Follow him on Facebook at Myron Lemon. And I tell you, connect with this young man. I'm telling you, he'll take you places that you need to go. He will give you wisdom. Connect with him so you can set up a consultation and sit down and strategize your financial goals and purposes that you would like to accomplish and build that generational wealth and that wealth preservation plan for you and your family, and especially for your businesses as well. So I just thank you so much for joining me today, Mr. Myron. I'm excited that I'm still going to, every Friday, I'm bringing a king or a queen from the Management Exchange Group, Life-Changing Alliances, Mindfulness Creations. And we just want to share with you and encourage you that whatever you have been given to do, whatever has been put in your hand to do in the way of a business, an organization, ministry, foundation, whatever you want to do to give back to your local community, your surrounding communities, and this world, because hey, everything is global. On some level, you can serve people on a global basis. Do that, please, ma'am, please, sir. And we would so appreciate, the world would appreciate you coming forth with your gift. So just thank you so much. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram, Success Beyond Strategies. That's STRATEGZ. Go to my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, hit the notification, hit that bell so that you can get the feeds of all of these wonderful sessions, these awesome interviews that we are conducting. That's Lady Verne, LadyVerne. And thank you so much, Myron Motown Lemon, CEO of the Motown Exchange Group Enterprise, LLC, and one of the kings of the Management Exchange Group. Have an awesome, awesome day.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I appreciate you accepting my request.
No problem. No problem. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Oh, we will. Oh, I do. Oh, man. What? I got a panel coming. I'm just letting everybody roll out one by one because we don't want to inundate them and overwhelm them. We just want to give them little morsels, little appetizers of each king and each queen, because I got some queens coming, y'all. Ooh. Then we're going to have some panels. We're going to have our kings panel, our queens panel. And so this is gonna just you gotta stay tuned in to me, because we're gonna do this until December 31st. So you gotta hang in with me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have an awesome, awesome day.
Awesome. All right.